What's good? So in this video, I'm going to be breaking down basically how to risk the proper way, right? So a lot of times, some people who first get into trading, they risk a lot more than they're supposed to risk, right? They may have $100 account and instantly want to trade $50 on a position or $30 on a position, and they're not giving themselves enough room for losses, right? Losses are part of trading. There's no way you're going to avoid taking a loss, so you have to trade to protect your account. And so I've been trading for some years now. Something that I've learned with experience is that you don't need to rush the process, right? Actually, trying to rush the process actually causes the process to take a lot longer because you'll blow an account or you might blow a funded account and you got to start all over again. Excuse me. And so if you are to risk the right way, which I'm going to be teaching in this video, you won't have to worry about those big setbacks in your account, and your account will steadily be able to grow. Right? And like I said, you want to slow walk it. So even though what I'm about to show you is literally going to be to the point of taking a longer time for you to get crazy, crazy results, you'll still be able to make crazy results when you look at it long term, especially when you start to look at it in a year's term, right? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to show you exactly how you can play and exactly how you can scale your account and actually make a lot more money than a lot of the people that you see trading now. All right, so right here we have a website called Compound Daily. And so basically using this, I'm going to be showing you guys where you would start with an initial balance, how much you should try to target per day, and not only how much you should try to target per day, but basically how much you can make over a certain period of time, right? So let's just say you had $300 to work with, right? Let's say you had $300 to work with, you're getting into trading, and you had a goal, a small goal, to grow your account 2% a day. Now, I'm going to tell you ahead of time. Right? I'm going to tell you ahead of time. 2% a day in the beginning is going to be very, very boring. Super boring. Like, you're going to be like, this is childish money. But I don't want you to look at it as how much am I making in the dollar amount. I want you to always look at it in a percentage amount, because 2% of $100 may only be 2%. I'm at $2. But if you got 100K, that's 2,000. If you got a million, that's 20,000. If you got anything, you feel me? Like anything larger than that, you're getting a lot larger results. So start off with $300, 2% growth per day, and let's say you can do that for 180 days, right? You don't withdraw anything. Let's say you did this for 180 days. That initial 300 from growing at 2% would be at 10,596, right? Crazy gains, right? Super crazy gains. Like now, some of you may be like $10,000. Like I see people online making way more than $10,000. Blah blah blah. If you only knew, if you only knew how many traders actually weren't profitable, and how many traders wish they can make $10,000 trading even in a year, like you're ahead of the game. But now, what I want you to look at, I want you to remember, this is at $10,000, right? Almost 10,600 halfway through the year. If we were to do the rest of the year, 365, you could potentially, I want you to listen, you could potentially hit 400,000 off of just 2% growth a day, right? So in the beginning, you got your $300. You may only make $6, $6, $6. And as you can see, it is very, very, very boring initially, right? Now, as time goes on, you see these numbers start to increase more and more and more till eventually you start having $1,000 days. Now, by the time you have your first $1,000 day, according to here, your first $1,000 day, your account will already be at 51,000, right? And by the time the whole 365 days ends, you could potentially be at $413,000 and be up 8K that day. Now, there's going to be certain things that you want to think about along this process. One is every day you're not going to hit that 2% goal. You're going to have some days where you lose. But you're also going to have those days where you make well over 2%, right? And so now that you can see that even with $300 growing at 2% a day, you can make six figures, you realize you don't have to risk a crazy amount. Now, also seeing that you only need to grow your account 2% a day to do that, you don't have to risk a crazy amount, right? You can literally risk 1 to 2% of trade and literally be hitting your goal every day, especially if you're going for more than a 1 hour return and stuff like that, which I would advise, right? Meaning when I say 1 hour, means if you risk $10, you made $10 on top of your original $10, right? 2 hour, you made $20 on top of that, right? And so you want to try to go for at least a 2 hour, and the higher your reward is, the more trades you can potentially lose and still be profitable, right? With a 1 hour, you got to win over 50%, right? With a 2 hour, you got to win over 33%, which is not a high percentage, right? With a 3 hour, I want to say you got to win about like 25% of your trades. But as you can see, like the higher your return is, the less trades you have to win, right? And also, the higher your return is, the more likely you are going to reach that 2% goal for the day, even if you are only risking 1%, right? So it's no need to rush the process when it comes to trading at all. Like if you really slow walk it, this is literally slow walking, you're still seeing you can make crazy results. And obviously, if you start with more, you can get larger results. But even eventually, if you have a large enough account, like let's say you had this capital where he's like, hey, I want to start with 10,000. Let me try to get 1.5% a day, right? You can touch, let me find out it's the same number. It might be. One time. Oh, no, you can hit crazy number, 2 million. Not for just 1% a day, right? And so don't rush the process. Literally just let everything, all the trades, all the setups come to you. Risk the right way. Like I said, you don't have to risk a lot to make a lot, right? It's just all about time, right? If you allow it to, if you give it time, you're going to make plenty of money, right? Especially, I want you to think about it like this. In your career right now, in your job right now, you may not be making six figures, right? But you can learn a skill. You can learn a skill and be disciplined, and you can potentially make six figures with just a couple $100 potentially. And that's not even putting in the fact that you can use funded accounts and all that type of stuff. So honestly, you can honestly change your whole life within a year with this trading stuff, but you just got to be patient. So that's how I would go about managing my account. Literally just trying to go for 2% a day, risking about 1% a trade, 2% max, and then having like a max drawdown rule where like hey, if I'm down 5% for the day, I'm gonna wait till the next day. Like you have those certain rules, it's gonna take you a long way, and your account's gonna grow. But like I said, if you can risk 1 to 2% of trade, you can get that 2% a day. 2% a day can take you a long way. But if you can have those days where you hit 3, 4, 5%, then you definitely putting yourself ahead, which can be super solid. So, um, if you are interested in the group where I teach, where I provide signals, where I do live sessions, where I provide setups, updates, all that, I will have a free Telegram group drop down below. All you have to do is click the link to join the group. If you like these type of videos, this is the last video of the series, the beginner series. Um, but if you like these type of videos, these type of trainings, I will continue to drop these. Just drop a like, comment, and also subscribe. I really appreciate that. Um, but if there's anything else I can do, drop a comment down below, and I'll try to create a video on that as well. But other than that, I will see y'all in the next video.